Hi, so we are back, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use some formula inside our spreadsheet. So here, let's say we want to get a total of the payment of each person from January until June. So I can add let's add another field here to our table. So I put them as total. So now for a formula in Excel, when you want to write a formula in Excel, you can click on the particular cell and start the content of your cell with an equal sign. An equal sign is saying that, oh, I want to do a formula. So the most basic formula that you can use in Excel is when you click on let's say you do a 20, you type in 20, literally 20, and plus 10, and you press enter, it will give you the sum of 20 plus 10. So now, if I do not want to do a summation of an exact value, but I want to do a summation based on a cell value. So what I can do is, I can select that particular cell. So I'm currently at my formula. So I select cell C7, alright, and I type in plus sign and select another cell, which is cell D7, and I keep on doing that. And as you can see, while I'm doing that, my cursor is still in the formula field because I haven't clicked somewhere else yet. So I keep on clicking until I'm done with my formula. Okay, and once I'm done, I can just press enter to signal that I'm done keying my formula. So press enter and we are done. So this is my formula for cell I7, which is a summation of cell C7 until H7. Or I can also use some existing formula, because Excel actually provide a tons of built-in formula that you can use. So the most popular one, of course, the sum. So they actually come up with auto sum function here. So what you can do is you can click on the auto sum. So now you can see that it automatically try to figure out, oh, because we are currently at I7, so it take a while guess, or maybe you actually want to do a summation from C7 until H7, which is exactly, yes, this is what we want to do. So you can just press enter to confirm that. So now let's explain about this sum function first. Sum function meaning you want to add all the numbers in between this set of parentheses. So you can do like what? Select C7, and you can see that you can separate it by a comma, and then select the second value. So basically now, the sum function will do a total of all these cells that you specified in between the set of parentheses. So now I press enter. Of course, there's a shortcut to that. How? We can use a range. So now we are saying that I want to do a summation from C7 until H7. I can also type in the value inside the formula bar instead of selecting the cell myself. So C7 until H7, you can see now that this C7 and H7 is being highlighted to give us confirmation that we are selecting C7 and H7. So press enter. There you go. So now you have a total from C7 and H7. Now this format here is what we call a range. So your range can vary from, if you do not want to, wait a second, so I want to exit the formula. So now, let's say I want my range to be from C7 until, so put in a colon, until when? Until where? Until H13. So you can see that it's going to do a summation from here until here, meaning everything, every cells that being highlighted over here, which is exactly not what I want to do. So I just want to do a summation from here until June. That's good enough for me. Okay? Then the next thing I want to do, instead of doing this row by row, what I can do is I can copy down the formula. So how to copy down the formula? Remember, when you do the plus and like that, all right? So now you can see that it automatically changed. So this one is C7, H7. Now this becomes C8 and H8. And it will change accordingly as you drag. Once you see the plus sign at the lower right corner, you drag it down and it will fill up the rest of the cell with the formula. So now, maybe I say that, okay, after I got the total, now I want to check the balance. How much more do we need to pay? How much more that each person need to pay? So since here, our target is 500, okay, let's change some value to make it more interesting. So let's say that Ahmad here paid another 100 here. So you can see here the total becomes 500, and maybe for Suraya here she paid, let's say 50 ringgit, and here she got 100, and here she got 80. Alright, and maybe here she got 100. So I want to change this to 120. Alright, so as you can see here, as I change the value of my total will also change accordingly. Why? Because the value here based on the value that we select here. Alright, so if the value here is changed, then of course the value for your total will also change accordingly. Alright, so now for the balance, I want to write some formula again. The formula is that, so equal sign, the target, alright, minus the total that we got. This is a simple maths, meaning if Ahmad already paid up to 500, so to know how much more that Ahmad owes us, we just deduct from our target to the with the total that Ahmad already paid. So B4 minus I7, and we got 0, meaning Ahmad already paid up all, already have enough budget for our trip. So now if I want to copy down the formula, what I can do, if I do the exact same thing like what we did for our total, so I drag this down. Now you can see, something wrong happened here. What happened? Why do I have a hashtag value here? It means that some error already happened here. So let's check out our formula. So for this CT Jama, the formula is B5 minus I8. So I8 is correct. It's I8, but why does it become B5 when what we want is actually B4, but it turns into B5? Why? Because when you drag down your formula, it will be increased by 1. So here, as you can see that the formula for your J7 is actually B4 minus I7. So when you drag it down, the column, now the column number will increase. So from B4, it will become B5, B6, and so on and so forth. Alright, but B will just stay the same. But now, if I try to drag it to the right, okay, now as you can see, let's say I click on K, the column K. So as you can see here, for my value in my K7, it's actually C4 minus J7. Why? Because when you drag it to the right, the value of your column going to be increased. So since just now in J7, it is B4 minus B4 minus I7. So here, just now in this cell here, it is B4 minus I7. So when you drag it down the column, down the row, so now value inside K7 would be B will turn into C and I will turn into J. You see that? And for the L7, this value would be C will turn into D and J will turn into K. But the value for your row will still remain the same. Why? Because you're just dragging it down the row, not down the column. Now the opposite things happen if you drag it down the column. So what happened is, if just now inside your J7 it's B4 minus I7, when you drag it down, the value for your column will still remain the same, which is B, but the value for your row would increase by 1. So 4 becomes 5. I still remain as I, J will becomes 8. So now this will be the value for J8, and the value for J9 would be B6 minus I9. Okay, so this is not exactly what we want, because even though we want I7 to change to I8 and I8 change to I9, but we want our B4 to still remain the same. We do not want it to be changing. So what can we do? What we can do is we can lock this value. So how to lock it? Press F4. The moment you press F4, you see that Excel will automatically add this dollar sign, or you can add the dollar sign by yourself. So this dollar sign in front of your row or your column is what known as absolute reference. Okay, without the column, without the dollar sign, it is known as relative reference. So relative reference meaning it will change accordingly, but absolute reference meaning the value would be fixed. So if I add dollar sign in front of my 4, okay, like that. So I do not add dollar sign in front of my B, just in front of my 4. So what's going to happen now when I drag this down? Okay, so you can see that my 4 is not changing, right? Because I already locked it down. But if I drag it to the right, down the row, so you can see here that my C is still changing because I do not lock my B. So if I do not want my B to be changing, I need to lock it as well. So I need to make it absolute reference by adding the dollar sign. So now, when I drag it down, as you can see, my B still remain the same and does not change to C. So this is the difference between absolute reference and relative reference. So you have to be careful when you copy down your formula or the ultimate field. So if you need some value to be fixed, you have to make sure that you lock or you make it an absolute reference like that. Okay? So that's that, and that's that for this video. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can sort data, and also the header, add header and footer, and also for our print preview thingy. Alright, so until next video, bye, thank you.